You're watching the Kansas City Chiefs Report, powered by Chat Sports. I am your fearless leader, Tyler Jones, here with you. Thanks for joining us. On today's show, we have our first 53-man roster projection for your Kansas City Chiefs. This is the first roster projection we've done since the NFL draft concluded, rookie minicamp, how things look at this point in the offseason. We'll go position by position coming up in just a matter of moments. Before we do, I want to hear from all the real ones in the chat today. If you are a real member of the Chiefs Kingdom and you love this show and the Kansas City Chiefs and you're ready for Chiefs football, spam KC in the chat. If we get at least 300 KCs in the comments section, then I'm going to shout out on a later edition of the Chiefs Report whoever spams it the most. If you're ready for Chiefs football, spam KC, and we'll get started with today's show. So let's tell you how this works, kind of set the scene for you before we go through all these positions here. What I have done is I have gone over all the position groups, and I'm assuming that nobody's getting traded at this point. Obviously, that can happen, but we're going to go under the assumption of the players that are there at this very moment. Not any players being shipped off or coming in. We're going to go with as the roster stands at this very point in time of who we think makes the 53-man roster if they had to cut things down today. So without further ado, let's get started. Patrick Mahomes, congrats. He makes the 53-man roster. Slow clap. Gardner Minshew also makes the 53-man roster as well. Andy Reid traditionally has not carried more than two quarterbacks, nor should he need to carry more than two quarterbacks. That will, in all likelihood, be your quarterback room. Bailey Zappi might stick around on the practice squad potentially there. The running back room for Kansas City. Now this is where things start to get interesting. Isaiah Pacheco, he's back for another season. Takes back his role as RB1 full-time this year. Kareem Hunt also returns. Rashard Smith, the seventh-round pick out of SMU, he makes the team, and I think he's going to be used not only as a running back but also in special teams as well. And before we reveal the final name, all right, will it be Carson Steele? Will it be Elijah Mitchell? Will it be somebody else? It is, dun-da-da-da, Elijah Mitchell gets the last spot among the running backs. Sorry, Carson Steele. You did not make the 53-man roster. I think Carson Steele potentially is going to be around on the practice squad, but I think that because of the fumbling issues that he had, that is going to be something that holds him back, and they like the speed that Elijah Mitchell brings to the table. I think that they go with Mitchell over Carson Steele for that final spot in that running back room and go with these four going forward from here. The receiver room for Kansas City. Xavier Worthy, Rashee Rice, Hollywood Brown. No shock there between those three, all right? So things are good there. Now let's start to get interesting here. Juju Smith-Schuster, he makes the roster. Although there's been some rumblings about the Chiefs may not need Juju anymore, but for now, we'll keep him. Then you go Jalen Royals, who you draft in the fourth round out of Utah State, who have high expectations for. I think he's going to thrive in this offense. And the last spot goes to Nikko. So finally, folks, you've seen it first. Skyy Moore is no more. Skyy Moore gets cut. And I think that a lot of people have been waiting for that for a long time. Skyy Moore's had plenty of chances. It hasn't worked out. Hasn't been able to stay healthy. Has not looked good when he's played. Nikko can be used in special teams. He's a better receiver than Skyy Moore. I think that final receiver spot goes to Nikko, and that's a pretty easy decision for the Kansas City Chiefs. So, everybody wave goodbye. Skyy Moore, nice knowing you. See you later. Should the Chiefs cut Skyy Moore? What do you think? Y for yes, N for no. Weigh in the comment section on our pinned comment today. Your chance to be the GM. Let us know what you think. Y for yes, N for no. Chiefs rookie jerseys are on sale now. Chatsports.com/Chiefs jerseys is where you can get these today. We got the Josh Simmons jersey. We got several others to choose from as well. at chatsports.com/Chiefs jersey. You'll get the jersey with his number on it, by the way. And maybe you want somebody else besides Josh Simmons. That's fine, too. We got Mahomes, Kelsey, Chris Jones, all the Chiefs jerseys you can think of. They're all at that same link, chatsports.com/Chiefs jerseys. Get yours today. The link is in the comments and description of today's video. The tight end position, Travis Kelce is back for another season, potentially his last. Noah Gray coming off a breakout year in 2024. I think he builds upon that. And then I got Jared Wiley. There's been some rumblings he might start the year on the PUP list. But based on what we've heard from Andy Reid saying that he's progressing nicely, I think there's a pretty decent chance he's back in time for the start of the season. So we won't put him on the PUP list. We'll put him on the active 53-man roster. I got one more tight end for you. A UDFA, Jake Briningstool out of Clemson. This guy should have been drafted. Fell right in the Chiefs' lap. I think it was a terrific signing by the Chiefs to get Briningstool. I think he can make the 53-man roster and get that last tight end spot. And I wouldn't be surprised if we see him on the football field at some point in 2025. The offensive line, this is where it starts to get a little difficult. Beyond, we don't even know what the starting five necessarily is going to look like. Jalen Moore, Kingsley at the guard spot now, moving over from the tackle position. Creed Humphrey, Trey Smith, and Jawan Taylor. If the season were to start right now, I think this would be your starting five on the O-line. I think Josh Simmons is going to have the chance to earn a starting role, but it's not going to be given to him right away. I think that we could be saying that when the season begins, he's a starter, but at least for now, Kingsley's got the upper hand with another year in the system, but we'll hear plenty from Josh Simmons as far as that goes. Mike Caliendo did a pretty decent job at the left guard spot last year when he filled in when they moved Joe Thuney to tackle. Played really good up until the Super Bowl. I think Mike Caliendo has proven himself to be a quality backup, but you don't necessarily want him to be your starter. Wanya Morris, also back. I think he's kind of your backup swing tackle. And then this is where it gets tough. I'll go with Hunter, the backup center. And I think he can back up at guard potentially as well. The Chiefs seem to really like him, and he's been a pretty good fit behind Creed Humphrey is another option there. I'll go with him to get the last offensive line spot. 9 total offensive linemen for Kansas City. We'll go over the defense coming up next, but I want to hear from you guys. How would you grade the Chiefs' 53-man roster? A, B, C, D, or F? Some people are saying it's the best roster in football. Is it? I think so. I'm going with an A here. How would you grade the Chiefs' 53-man roster? Way in the comments section. Give us a grade, A, B, C, D, or F. Let us know. For the best Chiefs coverage around, you got to be subscribed to the Kansas City Chiefs Report. We're bringing you daily news and rumors. We got live shows each and every Tuesday, breaking news, Q&A mailbags. We're your one-stop shop for all things Kansas City Chiefs. And the best part about it, it's free. It doesn't cost you a thing. I need everybody to subscribe. Let's get at least 20 people watching today's video to subscribe. YouTube.com/ChiefsTV. Hit that sub button. Doesn't cost you a thing. Don't miss a moment. Stay locked in. Any breaking news, we'll be the first to tell you about it right here on the channel. YouTube.com/ChiefsTV. Let's go to the defense now. And I'm going with 5 total defensive tackles here. I'm going with Chris Jones, Omar Norman-Lott, Jerry Tillery, Mike Pennell, and then the last spot, I could go with about 3 different names all competing for this. But I'm going to go with Marlon here. I think with Marlon's prior experience with Philadelphia, had he not been banged up, he would be a starter in this league. I think the injuries have kind of held him back. I think because of that experience, he edges out some of the other guys for that final defensive tackle spot. The defensive ends for Kansas City. George Karlaftis returns, hoping to build off a strong campaign in 2024. Had a nice finish to the season. Mike Dana also back as well. Ashton Gelati, who they selected in day number 2 of the draft out of Louisville. I would like to see his sack numbers come up from what they were at Louisville. His pressure number was good, that rate, but I would like to see more sacks there. Charles Omenihu returns. I like Charles Omenihu a lot. He's coming in with a bit of a chip on his shoulder. got humbled a bit in free agency, thought he was going to get more than what he ended up settling for to come back to KC. And King Felix is in a make-or-break year, as the former first-round pick has been pretty disappointing the last couple of seasons. Can he finally break through? It's a pivotal year for him. The linebacker room for Kansas City. We'll go with Nick Bolton, obviously. To sign a new contract, arguably the best linebacker in football. Leo Chenal also returns. Drew Tranquill. I think this is one of the most underrated linebacker rooms in football. I'm very high on Jeffrey Bassa, who they drafted out of Oregon. I think he's got potential to be a starter down the line. And then the last spot, we'll go with Cam Jones. And some of you may be saying, where is Jack Cochran? Well, I think he starts the year on the PUP list. We'll see how his injury progresses and when or if he returns to the football field. But I think he sticks around, but on the PUP list at least for now. And then we have the discussion down the line. Who's a player the Chiefs should cut? We've talked about some players that are on the chopping block here in 2025. Who comes to mind for you? Who's somebody you'd like to see the Chiefs move on from? Weigh in the comment section and let us know. The corner room, McDuffie is back after another All-Pro campaign in 2025. Jalen Watson, I know that there's some trade rumors on him, but based on this exercise, we'll assume that he's back and that he's in a starting role as an outside corner. McDuffie moves back to the nickel. Christian Fulton, they signed from the LA Chargers, is likely to be a starter as well. Noah Williams, I love out of Cal. He is an interception machine. I think he's going to compete for playing time right away. Joshua Williams, I think he stays. Although I could see the Chiefs potentially looking to trade him after he did not look great when he filled in for Jalen Watson last year. And then Chamari Connor. Don't know what his role is necessarily, if he's playing corner or if he's playing safety, but there's a spot for Chamari Connor somewhere on this team. The safety room. I love Jaden Hicks. You know, I wasn't too upset about Justin Reid not re-signing when you got Jaden Hicks. I think Jaden Hicks can be better than Justin Reid. Brian Cook is also back. And then the other guys, I'll go Deion Bush and Mike Edwards. Mike Edwards, they brought over from the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. He's back. He played in this defense a couple of years ago. I think he's going to be a good backup. And Mike Edwards is also good enough that you can play the three safeties if you want. Maybe you want to do that with Connor. You have some flexibility there with that safety position. Who is your favorite player on the Chiefs roster? There's no wrong answers on this one. If you had to give me one player, who would it be and why? Sound off in the comment section. Shout out who your favorite Chiefs player is. And in the special teams unit, this is the most fascinating special teams unit in the league with America's kicker, Harrison Butker. Matt Araiza, I know that they brought in a UDFA punter, but Matt Araiza's job is not under threat by any stretch of the imagination. And then my guy, my Choctaw brother, James Winchester, back at long snapper. By the way, the highest paid long snapper in the NFL, for good reason. He's the best long snapper in the NFL. He's made some plays, too, over the years. I'm glad to see that James makes his return. And there is your full look at our 53-man roster projection for your Kansas City Chiefs, position by position, one by one there. A lot of fun doing that. We'll continue to do these. We'll have more 53-man roster projections over the coming weeks ahead as we get closer and closer to training camp and the start of the season right here on the channel. That means we're done. This is the end of today's video, my friends. If you made it all the way through every position group to the very end of today's show, that means you are a real one. All right? That means you're a real Chiefs fan. You're a real Chat Sports fan. And we appreciate you. I don't think we say that enough around here, folks. I appreciate every single one of you that are watching this show that have made it to the end. If you have made it to the end, I need you to spam real one in the comments section for all the real ones out there. Thanks for joining us here on this edition of the Kansas City Chiefs Report. I'm Tyler Jones. We'll see you next time.